Peace and Power, Babu Omawali, Truth to Power, War Room. So lately, we've been having a lot of discussion in this country about anti-Semitism, Semitism, and I want to say just because a black man does his historical research and he speaks on a certain subject matter, that does not make him anti Semitic. Let us start with Kyrie Irving. Kyrie Irving shared a link, Hebrews to Negroes, on I believe it was Twitter or Instagram, I'm not sure. Basically, this documentary or movie basically shows the historical perspective of the original Hebrew who we know were black people. How do we know that? Because in that part of the world, there were no white people. So the European Zionists that live in this area now are foreign to this land. And that's just the truth. It's no knock on the Jews, the European Jew. It's not being anti Semitic when you're telling the truth. See, we have come to a point in this country where if you speak against a certain ethnic group, then you're automatically considered to be racist or anti Semitic. What about the anti African? What about the anti Black? We know that European Jews, Arab Muslims, and white Christians all supported the Atlantic slave trade. All of the three major religions supported the slave trades and separating black men and black women from their continent and taking them around the world for free slave labor. Not servitude, but compliance. You were beaten into submission. Your people were pushed overboard and fed to the sharks. Black men and women, African men and women, were boiled alive, were burned alive. So is there not a such thing as anti-Africanism or anti-Black? Being in this country and being subjected to all of this torture, rape, and murder, and you still do not want the black men and women to have a voice, even when they become knowledgeable. When people learn who they are and they learn their true history, they're going to speak against those atrocities. I'm sorry if you're butthurt as an ethnic group. I'm sorry you're butthurt as a religion. And let me say this, there are good people in every faith. There are good people in every religion. And the flip side of that is there are also devils in every ethnic group. There are also devils in every religion. Again, we know that the European Jew helped to finance the slave trade. We know that the Christian helped to finance the slave trade. We know that the Arab Muslim helped to endorse the Atlantic slave trade as well as the Arab slave trade. Arabs still occupy parts of North Africa today that is land that originally belongs to the African people. That is not your land. Libya, Egypt, Morocco, that is occupied by Arabs needs to be reoccupied by the African, needs to be repatriated by the black man. So you can't be mad at a people for coming in knowledge. Kanye West, even though some of the things that he said about our ancestors we do not support, but he was correct when he said that the European Jew that is in charge of the record labels are pushing destruction in the black community. The European record labels are pushing black men to talk about murdering each other, black women to sexualize themselves and talk like they are strippers, whores, and prostitutes. All of that is okay with the European Jew. But let a black man condemn those things, and now he is subject to be persecuted. We as black people have to support each other. And when I say support each other, that does not mean that we continue to spread misinformation or that we spread hatred, but we also have the right to spread true history, and we have the right to spread true knowledge. The industry, specifically the entertainment industry, will use our own people against us. You see, after the Kyrie statements, they ran to their boys, Shaquille O'Neal, who called Kyrie Irving an idiot. Why is he an idiot, Shaquille? The man is telling the truth. I personally don't fall up into any category of Christianity, Muslim, Hebrew. I myself am just a spiritual person. I believe there is a higher power. I believe there is some form of life after death, but I don't follow any religious indoctrination. So I don't have a dog in that fight. But for Kyrie to say, or Kanye to say that the black man is the original Jewish or Hebrew, that makes sense in that part of the world. The black man is basically the original man of the planet. So what would exclude him from being the original Jew? We know there was no European Jewish in the land that they call Israel, where they occupied Jerusalem. There were no white people there. These European Jews are white. They can't be the original people. I'm sorry. Let's get back to us supporting each other. Every time a black man speaks against the establishment runs and get their house Negroes to speak against those black people. You don't represent us, Shaquille O'Neal. You don't represent us. God forbid you do not represent us, Charles Barkley. You have never been for the people. Now, I know as far as Shaquille O'Neal is concerned, he has done a lot supporting black people with his money. But that does not make you the voice of the black man in America. You're just another man who happens to have a lot of money, and you're able to help, where I'm sure a lot of black men and women who are in your position would do the same thing. But that does not make you a voice for the black man in this country. Kyrie had a right. He had a First Amendment right in this country. And he had a right as a man, a black man, to share the link to that movie so that people can be further educated on our history, not only in this country, but our history in this world. There is a such thing as being anti-African. There is a such thing as being anti-black. Where do we get our support from? Who supports the black man? Again, we want to say that, again, all people regardless of your ethnicity, regardless of your religion, are not bad people. We know that Jewish people help support black men and women in their fight for civil rights in this country. So again, there are good people in every faith. There are good people in every ethnicity. But then there are also devils in every faith and every ethnicity. What I want my people to understand is we talk about Nazis and Nazi Germany. People are Nazis. Where did the Nazis get their ideology from? They got them from white supremacists here in America that had a foot on the neck of the black man, that had a knee on the neck of the black men and women here in America. That's where the racist indoctrination came from. The white superiority complex came from. So when you talk about a Nazi and you talk about a white supremacist, you're talking about the same thing. White supremacists do not like Jewish people, even though Jewish people that occupy Israel now are Europeans. Why? Because they control the money. White supremacists do not like anybody controlling the resources. So when Kanye made his statement, you had white supremacists who were supporting Kanye. We can't say yay to that. A white supremacist is still a devil, regardless if he supports the statements of a black man or not. We know for a fact that a white supremacist does not give a damn about the black man in this country, nor does he give a damn about the European Jew. So where does that leave us? We don't want your support. Black people don't want your support. We just want to be recognized in this country as a human being. And we're not asking for your recognition. We're going to take our recognition and we're going to demand that. We're not asking for a seat at your table. We're going to build our own table. I'm not going to be very long on this, but let me come to a conclusion. We can't be mad at the European Jew for being a Jew. We can't be mad at the white supremacist for being a white supremacist. We have to strengthen our own economic abilities to have our own resources in this country. There are enough millionaires, a few billionaires, where we shouldn't have to ask for a seat at anybody else's table. We should have our own warehouses. We should have our own distribution centers. We should have our own construction companies. And only when we start building ourselves up will we be able to build our own table. I say this to men like Shaquille O'Neal and Charles Barkley and a lot of these other black men and women that are supporting the Jews' hatred of the black men. Stop being coons. Stop being coons. Support your own people. Just because you're on another economic level, just because you're rich, that does not make you the spokesman for the black man and the black woman in this country. Stop laughing and hee ha ha in the white man's face. He doesn't give a damn about you as long as you can dunk a basketball and as long as you can make money for him. He's told you many times, just go out and dribble the ball. Remember who you are. Even though you're rich, you're still the white man's boy. So I'm going to end this with, we need to build our own table. We don't want a chair. We don't want a seat at the table with people who do not see us as humans, as 3/5 of a man. We want to build our own table. And as black men and black women, let's start supporting our own. I can understand why Kanye West did not get a lot of our support because of his statements against black people, specifically George Floyd, specifically Harriet Tubman didn't free any slaves. You wearing the shirts that says White Lives Matter. They say something different was on the front. That shit don't matter. White lives matter. You have to understand, Kanye, why we even start using the slogan Black Lives Matter, because our people were being shot down and gunned down by the pig, the state in this country, and that still continues today. Justice for Jaheim McMillan, one of the latest victims of white supremacy and police terrorism in the state of Mississippi, who are having a rally today for the support of this young man and his family. But recognize who you are in this country. Black men, black women, we must start supporting each other. Let's get away from all of the goddamn social media debating and to the economics. Let's start supporting each other. Buy black when you can. Build black when you can. We are all that we've got. So again, Babu Omawali, man, I just wanted to have a quick dialogue with you, comrades. Peace and power. Like and subscribe, Truth to Power War Room, where we're going to talk about some of the issues that affect the black community. Black power.